Ladies and gentlemen, there is a story of a woman who spent her whole life being agreeable, always saying yes, always trying to be the peacemaker. She smiled when she wanted to cry. She nodded when she disagreed. She helped when she was exhausted. And one day, she looked in the mirror and realized she had lost herself. How many of you have been there? How many of you have sacrificed your dreams, your voice, your power, just to avoid conflict, just to be liked, just to fit in? The world teaches young girls that to be accepted, they must be nice. Not bold, not outspoken, not ambitious, just nice. But let me tell you something today. The world does not reward passivity. The world does not remember those who simply obey. The world respects those who know their worth and walk in it. From the time we are young, we are taught that being nice is the key to acceptance. We are told to smile, to be agreeable, to avoid confrontation, to make others comfortable, and to always put others first. And so many of us grow up believing that being accommodating, self-sacrificing, and endlessly agreeable will lead to love, respect, and success. But somewhere along the way, we realize a painful truth. Being overly nice does not always bring us the rewards we expect. Instead of gaining respect, we find ourselves being overlooked. Instead of feeling valued, we feel drained. Instead of being loved for who we are, we feel used for what we give. The danger of being too nice is that it often comes at the cost of our own needs, dreams, and self-respect. It starts with small things. Saying yes when we want to say no. Staying silent when we should speak up. Letting others take advantage of our kindness because we don't want to appear rude. But over time, these small sacrifices add up. And before we know it, we have become people who live to please others while neglecting ourselves. And what is the result? We become exhausted from carrying burdens that are not ours. We become resentful, not because others take advantage, but because we allowed them to. We become trapped in a cycle where we give endlessly, hoping that one day someone will give back in the same way. But that day never seems to come, because people who take advantage of niceness are rarely satisfied. They will keep taking as long as we keep giving. There is nothing wrong with being kind, but there is a difference between kindness and self-sacrifice. True kindness does not mean letting others mistreat you. It does not mean constantly giving to the point of exhaustion. It does not mean staying silent just to keep the peace. If your kindness is causing you to feel used, if your niceness is making you invisible, then it is no longer kindness. It is self-neglect. You do not owe anyone a version of yourself that is always accommodating, always available, and always agreeable. It is not selfish to put yourself first. It is not wrong to say no when something does not serve you. It is not mean to expect respect from those around you, because the truth is, those who truly care about you will respect your boundaries, and those who only want to take from you will be the ones who get upset. And when that happens, let them go. You were not created to live in the shadows of others, constantly bending to their needs while ignoring your own. You were created to be strong, to be bold, to walk with confidence, and to embrace your worth. So stop letting the fear of disappointing others keep you from living fully. Stop thinking that being liked is more important than being respected. Stop being the nice girl if it means losing yourself. Choose yourself today. Choose your voice, your strength, your worth. Because the world does not need more nice girls. It needs more strong women. Many people misunderstand what it truly means to set boundaries. Some believe that having boundaries is selfish, rude, or unkind. But in reality, boundaries are one of the most powerful ways to show self-respect and demand respect from others. They are not walls meant to shut people out, but fences that define where you stand and what you will and will not tolerate. A woman without boundaries is like a house without doors. Anyone can walk in and take whatever they please. When you lack boundaries, you leave yourself open to being used, drained, and manipulated. You say yes when you mean no. You allow people to take advantage of your time, energy, and emotions. You find yourself giving endlessly, yet feeling unappreciated and overlooked. And worst of all, you begin to lose sight of who you truly are because you are constantly bending to fit the needs of others. But when you set boundaries, everything changes. You are no longer at the mercy of other people's demands. You reclaim control over your life, your time, and your emotions. You begin to say no without guilt, knowing that your well-being matters just as much as anyone else's. You stop allowing toxic relationships to drain you and instead surround yourself with people who respect and value you. The truth is, setting boundaries is not an act of cruelty. It is an act of love. Love for yourself, because you are no longer sacrificing your happiness for the sake of pleasing others. Love for others because you are teaching them how to treat you with respect. And love for your future because you are creating a life where your needs, dreams, and voice matter. Many women struggle with boundaries because they fear rejection. They worry that if they say no, people will be disappointed or angry. But here's the reality. Anyone who truly values you will respect your boundaries. And those who get upset, they were only benefiting from your lack of them. A person who respects you will not punish you for standing up for yourself. You must also understand that setting boundaries does not mean explaining or justifying yourself. You do not owe anyone a long explanation for why you choose to protect your time, energy, or emotions. A simple, "I'm not available," or "that doesn't work for me," is enough. If someone respects you, they will accept your decision without argument. Some will call you difficult. Some will call you selfish. But let them talk. Because as you grow stronger in setting boundaries, you will begin to see a shift. You will no longer be surrounded by those who take advantage of you. Instead, you will attract people who value and appreciate you for who you are, not just for what you can give. So today, make the decision to honor yourself. Stop allowing others to dictate your time, your emotions, and your worth. Set the boundaries you need, and do not apologize for them, because when you do, you will finally step into the power and peace you were meant to have. Too often, women are taught that being agreeable and compliant is the path to success. From a young age, they are told to be polite, to be easygoing, and to accommodate the needs of others. They are taught that saying yes will earn them favor, and that going along with what others want will make them more likable. But the truth is, being overly compliant does not lead to success. It leads to being overlooked, underappreciated, and taken for granted. Confidence, not compliance, is what truly sets a woman apart. Confidence is the ability to speak up, to stand firm in one's beliefs, and to demand respect. A confident woman does not agree just to avoid conflict. She does not stay silent when she has something valuable to say. She does not let others make decisions for her life while she passively accepts them. Instead, she asserts herself. She makes her own choices. She understands that her voice and opinions matter just as much as anyone else's. One of the biggest lies women are told is that being confident makes them difficult or bossy. This fear of being seen as too strong, too opinionated, or too bold keeps many women trapped in a cycle of compliance. They stay in jobs where they are underpaid because they fear asking for a raise. They remain in relationships where they are not valued because they fear confrontation. They put everyone else's needs ahead of their own, believing that this is what it means to be a good person. But compliance does not lead to happiness. It does not lead to respect. It does not lead to success. If you want to be seen, heard, and valued, you must be willing to step into confidence. You must be willing to say no when something does not serve you. You must be willing to walk away from situations that do not align with your worth. You must be willing to advocate for yourself, even when it is uncomfortable. Confidence is not arrogance. It is not about being rude or dismissive. It is about knowing your value and refusing to settle for less. It is about walking into a room and owning your presence. It is about speaking with conviction and believing in yourself, even when others doubt you. The world does not remember those who simply follow along. It remembers those who stand out, those who challenge the status quo, those who refuse to shrink themselves to make others comfortable. If you want to build a life that is fulfilling and meaningful, you must stop prioritizing compliance and start prioritizing. So the next time you feel the urge to agree just to keep the peace, ask yourself, am I doing this because I truly want to, or because I am afraid of what will happen if I don't? And if fear is the answer, then choose confidence instead. Choose to be bold. Choose to be strong. Choose to walk in the power that has always been inside you. One of the biggest reasons women struggle to assert themselves is the fear of disapproval. From an early age, many are conditioned to seek validation from others, to be the good girl who doesn't cause trouble, who pleases everyone, and who avoids confrontation at all costs. The idea of disappointing someone, of making others uncomfortable, or of being judged can feel terrifying. And so they remain silent when they should speak up. They agree when they should disagree. They sacrifice their own happiness just to keep the peace. But living in fear of disapproval is a prison. It keeps you small. It keeps you stuck in relationships, careers, and situations that do not serve you. It makes you dependent on the opinions of others instead of trusting yourself. And worst of all, it robs you of the life you were meant to live. The truth is, no matter what you do, there will always be someone who disapproves. If you speak up, some will call you too outspoken. If you set boundaries, some will call you selfish. If you pursue your dreams, some will say you are too ambitious. But what others think of you is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to live in alignment with your own values, to make decisions that honor your well-being, and to walk boldly in the direction of your purpose. The fear of disapproval often comes from a deep need to be liked. Many women have been taught that being liked is the key to success, to love, and to happiness. But let me tell you something. Being liked is not the same as being respected. There are plenty of people who are liked but not valued, who are praised for being agreeable but ignored when it truly matters. Respect comes from standing firm in who you are, from having the courage to say what needs to be said, and from refusing to compromise your worth for the sake of someone else's approval. And here is something even more powerful. When you stop fearing disapproval, you become free. Free to say no without guilt. Free to make decisions that serve you, not just those around you. Free to take risks, to pursue what truly excites you, and to build a life that reflects your deepest desires. It is time to let go of the need to be accepted by everyone. It is time to stop measuring your worth by how many people approve of you. Instead, start asking yourself, do I approve of the life I am living? Do I feel fulfilled? Do I respect myself? Because in the end, it is not the opinions of others that matter most. It is how you feel about the choices you make. So be bold, be unapologetic. Stop tiptoeing through life, afraid of what others will think. Some will disapprove of you, and that's okay. You were not meant to please everyone. You were meant to live fully, freely, and with a confidence that your worth is not up for debate. There comes a moment in every woman's life when she must decide who she is going to be. Will she continue to shrink herself to fit into the expectations of others? Or will she rise with boldness and claim her power? Will she live her life trying to be agreeable, likable, and pleasing? Or will she stand with courage, wisdom, and authority? The choice is hers. And the choice is yours. For too long, society has told women to be small, to be quiet, to be accommodating. The message is clear. Don't be too loud. Don't be too opinionated. Don't take up too much space. But I am here to tell you today that it is time to break free from those lies. It is time to step into boldness. It is time to take ownership of your voice, your strength, and your worth. Boldness is not about being aggressive or unkind. It is about standing firm in who you are without apology. It is about walking into a room with confidence, knowing that you have just as much right to be there as anyone else. It is about recognizing that your thoughts, your dreams, and your goals are just as important as anyone else's. Some people will not like your boldness. They will be uncomfortable with your confidence. They will say you have changed. But that is not your problem to fix. Those who are intimidated by your strength are the very ones who benefited from your weakness. They liked you when you were quiet because it made things easier for them. But you were not created to make life easier for others at the cost of your own happiness. There is nothing admirable about dimming your light so others can shine. There is nothing virtuous about staying silent when you have something important to say. The world needs women who are unafraid to speak, unafraid to lead, and unafraid to claim the space they deserve. And boldness does not mean recklessness. It means wisdom. It means knowing when to speak and when to listen. It means understanding the power of your presence and using it for good. It means standing in your truth, even when it is uncomfortable. If you have spent years being afraid to step forward, to take risks, to embrace your potential, now is the time to change that. Stop waiting for permission to be who you were always meant to be. Stop letting fear hold you back. Stop allowing the expectations of others to dictate your choices. You are strong. You are capable. You are worthy. So rise up today, not with hesitation, but with certainty. Walk with boldness. Speak with conviction. Live with purpose. Because the world does not need another woman who is afraid to be seen. It needs you. Respect is not something you beg for. It is not something you earn by being overly accommodating, endlessly giving, or constantly putting others before yourself. Respect is something that is claimed. It is something that is commanded by the way you carry yourself, by the boundaries you set, and by the way you refuse to accept anything less than what you deserve. Too often, women are taught that if they are nice enough, patient enough, or self-sacrificing enough, people will automatically respect them. But respect does not come from being liked. It does not come from being agreeable. It comes from demonstrating self-worth and expecting others to treat you accordingly. The truth is, people treat you the way you allow them to. If you let others take advantage of your kindness, they will. If you tolerate disrespect, it will continue. If you always put yourself last, people will assume that is where you belong. But the moment you start demanding respect, the moment you start setting boundaries, speaking up, and refusing to be walked over, you will see a shift. Some people will not like it when you start commanding respect. They will say you have changed. They will say you are too much. But that is only because they benefited from your silence, from your compliance, from your willingness to accept less than you deserved. The people who truly value you will respect you even more when you show them that you will not tolerate anything less. Respect is not earned by suffering. You do not have to endure mistreatment to prove your worth. You do not have to exhaust yourself to be valued. You do not have to be the person who always says yes just to feel appreciated. True respect comes when you know your value and refuse to accept anything less. And let's be clear, commanding respect is not about arrogance. It is not about looking down on others. It is about recognizing your own dignity and refusing to let anyone diminish it. It is about walking into a room with confidence, speaking with certainty, and expecting to be treated with the same level of regard that you give to others. If you find yourself in relationships, whether personal or professional, where you are constantly overlooked, dismissed, or undervalued, ask yourself, have I been teaching people that this is acceptable? Have I been afraid to stand up for myself? Have I been giving respect without requiring it in return? Today is the day you change that. Today is the day you decide that you will not settle for being tolerated when you deserve to be valued. Today is the day you stop chasing approval and start demanding respect. So stand tall. Speak with conviction. Set boundaries and keep them. Because the moment you start respecting yourself, the world will have no choice but to follow. There comes a time in every woman's life when she must decide to stop living for the approval of others and start living for herself. She must stop shrinking to fit into spaces that were never meant for her. Stop apologizing for taking up room and stop waiting for permission to be bold, confident, and fully alive. That time is now. You do not need permission to embrace your power. You do not need approval to stand firm in who you are. The only validation you need is your own. For too long you have been conditioned to believe that your worth is determined by how much you can give, how well you can accommodate, and how little trouble you can cause. You have been told that a good woman is one who does not make waves, who sacrifices her own needs for the comfort of others, who stays quiet when she should speak up. But what has that truly given you? Have you found joy in making yourself smaller? Have you found fulfillment in neglecting your own needs? Have you found peace in constantly seeking approval? No more. You were not created to live in the shadows. You were not meant to be a supporting character in your own story. You were made to be bold, to be strong, to take risks, to pursue your passions, and to live a life that is full of meaning and purpose. Embracing your power does not mean becoming harsh or unkind. It means standing firm in your worth. It means knowing that your voice matters. It means believing that your dreams are just as valid as anyone else's. It means understanding that you are not here to please everyone. You are here to live fully. And yes, some people will not like it when you step into your power. Some will call you selfish. Some will say you've changed. But the truth is, they only say that because they were comfortable with the version of you that put their needs before your own. They liked the version of you that stayed quiet, that agreed even when you wanted to say no, that never demanded respect. But their discomfort is not your concern. You do not exist to make others comfortable at the expense of your own happiness. The moment you stop seeking approval is the moment you become free. Free to make choices that serve you. Free to walk away from relationships that drain you. Free to speak your truth without fear. Free to create a life that is aligned with your values, your dreams, and your purpose. So stop waiting. Stop hesitating. Stop looking to others for permission to be who you were always meant to be. You have always had the power within you. It's time to own it. Walk forward with confidence, speak with conviction, and never again apologize for taking up space. This is your life. Live it boldly, live it fully, and never look back.